I started harvesting my sweet potatoes and like these are insane. I don't know if they'll be any good because I think I've left them in the ground too long, but like these are just so big. Those are the two I have so far. This is like a grocery store basket. Wow. All right, I'm gonna keep harvesting and show you guys what I get. I cannot get over the sheer volume and size of these potatoes for that tiny little bed. Unreal. Just totally, I think this is everything. This is the full bed. I will have to go and weigh how many I end up getting, but like, this is, I'm glad I brought such a big basket. I really wasn't expecting much of anything, and certainly not this size, so we'll have to see if we can cook these into like a mashed potato or something for Thanksgiving this week. Yay. What's totally crazy about this bucket of potatoes is I haven't even touched my other two beds yet. So, oh boy, I thought this bed was gonna do the best. So let's see. That one, somebody's taking a few bites out of, but let's see how the rest of this bed does. Oh, here we go. So not the best filming format, but I wanted to show you my process here. I'm pulling all the vines off the bed first because I've noticed these potatoes are so big, it's not like they're coming out with the vines. Don't know if it's the best way to do it, but it seems to be the easiest for me. Just pull all the vines off the bed and then start digging in the bed, so I'm not digging around the vines as I go. This is the bed after I've pulled all the vines off of it. That was a lot of effort, breathing a little heavy. But just even if I don't get any sweet potatoes out of this bed, the quality of this soil, because I had it covered and not drying out all summer, is stunning. Oh, well, looks like I'm gonna get something. I'm gonna need a shovel. All right, now while I'm digging under this, I wanna be really careful. I don't wanna damage the sweet potato in case I can preserve these for any period of time. I don't think I'll be able to, but just kind of dig around it. And I'm kind of prying it up with the shovel, but I'm gonna need two hands here, but kind of prying it up with the shovel, but I wanna make sure I'm not actually damaging the actual plants. So something to think about. So interesting. So it looks like this one and this one came, or this one and this one came from one big plant. Then I've got a lot of these little guys and several more that all look like they came from probably one plant over here. Oh my gosh, look how big that is. I didn't think it was gonna even be that big. Another one, these all seem to be coming from the same area, which makes me think they're coming from the same plant. That all just from one. Again, I'm breathing heavy because it's actually kind of hard to dig through all this. Huh, that almost looks like it's coming from another sweet potato down here somewhere. It started to sprout. Huh, just a little root sprouting. I mean, they're not gonna survive over the winter, but I'll leave the little tubers in the ground, and if they decide to produce sweet potatoes next year, nobody's gonna complain about it, certainly not me. So this was an interesting structure. So this guy, I don't know exactly how many it's attached to, but I think it was this one, and this one. But I hadn't seen, it's like kind of one potato that, or one potato part that I guess branched into lots of little ones. I'm kind of thinking the soil wasn't as loose as the other soil, and that's why I didn't get quite so many big potatoes. I got some kind of thinner ones trying to make their way in the soil, but still lots of potatoes. I'm gonna do a weigh-in to compare all of these, but that was pretty good from this bed. That's all the potatoes. You can't see half of them because they're covered in dirt, but that's the ones from the original bed. I think there's just as many from this bed, and they're a little bit smaller, which I guess we'll see on flavor, but again, I'm kind of out of breath. This is a lot of work, but even if I hadn't gotten any sweet potatoes out of it, I love the quality of this soil. Like it just, even if I didn't get any sweet potatoes out of it, I love the quality of this soil. It is so beautiful. I feel like having it protected by all those leaves for the summer was absolutely the right choice. And look, the side effect of this cover crop, this summer cover crop, is oodles of sweet potatoes. Third and final bed. The vines are all pretty much dead, so I'm gonna pull those out, and then we'll see if there's any sweet potatoes in here. This one got a lot of sun at the beginning. I started them kind of late, and then we did have a sunshade over the top of this. I've taken it down now for like half of August and September. So I think that was when I put it in. Maybe it was September. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm very curious to see how these did. You gotta love when you bury, or rather put a snake on the surface of your soil, but like a fake snake, but you leave it there for years and it gets buried in the ground, and then you just dig it up one day and it flips out. Yeah, that scared the crap out of me. Anyway, this bed was basically disappointing. I'm really glad I did not do this bed first, because I think I would have been less motivated to go dig up the rest. I've got one more space over there. There might be a few potatoes, but so far this bed, which is easily twice the size of my other 2 beds, has yielded a couple of small potatoes, and this one is basically rotting on one end because it was sticking out of the ground. So yeah, pretty disappointing. I'm gonna look for a couple more spots. I don't think there were any vines over here, but I'm gonna check one more spot, and then I think we're gonna call this bed done. It did protect the soil. The soil's healthier than it has been in years past. I think the soil was really, there's a couple places I dug in and it was really dense, and I think that's part of the problem, is the potatoes just couldn't really dig into the soil, because like if you watch as I dig in here, like there's just, it's hard, and I don't think the potatoes had the wherewithal to get through. So the ones that I did have were smaller, and there weren't that many. Weeds, always a good time to pull weeds. I'll have to do a garden tour soon, but my brassicas are actually doing great, even though I never got around to covering them. Those are Brussels sprout, and some lettuce. Hopefully they'll take off soon and I'll get a nice few salads this winter. Here's the final count. I'll have to wash them off and figure out which ones are actually decent and weigh them. This was from the red basket is from my smallest bed. Blue basket is from this bed right here, and that little tiny basket is from my 8-foot by 4-foot concrete bed. So yeah, very, very different results. Kind of what I was expecting, but not quite so much contrast. I figured these 2 beds would do well, but I'm actually surprised how poorly that back bed did. I'm glad I planted more than just that back bed, because I would have been very sorely disappointed.